Today, we're going to talk about second thoughts and third thoughts and fourth thoughts about renaming the fourth book in the trilogy. So officially, I finished the end diaries, writing the fourth book of the trilogy, but yeah, let's have a look. But first, if you're new here, hi, my name's Leanne Shawler. I'm an artist and a writer. I am writing a serialized fantasy romance that is set during the Regency era, featuring Arthurian quests to save the world from ecological collapse with shape-shifting sea dragons. And we've just written the final book, and this video is going to be me, hopefully on camera, and I haven't pulled things off camera. I'm making some props. And I'm just going to do a voiceover dithering about the title for this particular book because it doesn't fit anymore. And I will explain all about that. Let's just have a look and see what I've been doing, getting ready to launch book 4. Alright, well this is where I try and remember what covers I'm using for what. Today I want to get started on Leonard's and Hugh's book. Hugh first, I think. And then Leonard. I should really look up my order to-do list because those are the two that I'm going to be printing because there's so much text. I'm not writing it all out. So printing them in a handwriting font. And so what I need to do is figure out what covers I'm using. They're all stashed in here. So I have this one, which I think is for Idithea. Yes, it feels like Idithea. And this one, I'll also be printing a bit of, I've decided. So there's this one. This is going to be Leonard's book. And I don't think I have one set aside for... No, I don't. And these are printables by Ink and Pages, mostly, not entirely, I think. And then I have my stack of books that I want to cannibalize. I think this top one. See what the cover looks like without the paper. Yeah, I'll just need to cover up that. But I tend to replace the spine anyway. Oh look, Bronwyn. So yeah, alright, so that's Hugh's. So these two measurements I need to do, and then when I get it printed out, I'm going to have a bit of a chat to you about titling this book for. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is add to the back of this for book 4. It's just going to go in here, and I go, oh look, by the way, there was some more text in here, and now it makes sense because I couldn't figure out how it added up to the last one. So I'm going to chop these down to size, and I'm just going to staple them together if I can find my stapler. Famous last words. And then just glue it to the back here, and then I'll do another bit of binding on the top, and then I'll just make it look pretty, theoretically. Oh, that's so funny. You can already see that I've added... Oh wait, that's the back page. Yeah, last time I glued in a couple of pages like that to add them in, but this time I'll just do a whole thing, and then I will make a card back for that again, so it can slide in and out nice and easy peasy. I mean, nobody comes back and actually reads these, but you know, it would be nice. So we're cutting at... Where's my ruler? We're cutting at... I don't know where we're cutting at. Look at the text. Pretty close to the margins. Okay. Pretty close to the margins. It works for me. And then we have space at the top. So I'll do left, right, and bottom, and then thing. 3 at a time. So while I'm doing this, I thought I would talk a bit about, I might end up doing this in voiceover, who knows. While I'm putting together Hugh Devonish's journal, I thought I would talk about what's going on with the book. As you can see, it's done. I'm just putting together the props now. But I have fallen out of love with the title of the book. The original title, well, there was a title before, but actually I don't even remember what that is. But the title that it's been sitting with for a long time was A Soul for the World, ASFW, which is the same as A Sword for Wellington, which I kind of didn't love, but I liked A Soul for the World. Now, my series begins with A Grail for Idithea, continues with A River Trembles, and then book 3, A Sword for Wellington, and now this is his final book, which means it needs to be an something or something. And so A Soul for the World stopped working when I realized it became more of a community aspect, and I'm like, maybe we should change the title so it could be like Souls for the World? And that just sounded weird. Like, okay, what can I call it instead? Well, it's all about the gifting. What about A Gift for the World? And that just sounded too Hallmark, especially when you consider what's happening with the characters in this series. They are put through the ringer. Lunid is probably the least affected, but it's not to say that her world isn't turned upside down. It is, a couple of times. Idithea's world is basically shattered. Ondine's world, shattered. Gwen's not too badly done by. Jasper's world, shattered. Lear, shattered. Hugh is one of our journals, but he's more of an observer of the whole thing. He's carrying some new stuff that he doesn't have in A Sword for Wellington, but all is to say, not an easy path for anybody. So A Gift for the World just sounded way too optimistic. Now, we know I write romance. We know there's going to be a happy ending. I was also, if you've listened to previous vlogs, talked about how I didn't want to tie up everything into a nice black and white, easy, tidy bow, but to make that there was still work to be done, that there was still, that it wasn't just a one and done magic, woohoo, we've got it done, yay. So I've been sitting with this for the last few days. Over on Substack, which is where my publication is hosted, the Môrdreigiau Chronicles, there is a little group of us who get together for me it's a Friday morning, and we sort of answer a few icebreaker-y type questions, share our most recent post, and that kind of thing. And I said, well, I don't like this title. And there's this song I've been listening to, which I can't share because that would be a copyright strike. But if you Googled, maybe I'll put a link to it in the description below because it's really good. And it's a cover of Woods' song Drowning. Woods, his song is Woods'. He sings it excellently, but to turn it into this beautiful, heartbreaking duet, I'm like, this is what book 4 is all about. It's all about the heartbreak and finding where you belong and all that. So I thought maybe I can call it Drowning. Maybe I could call it Drowning in Ashes because, that's the prophecy of the whole world gets turned to ash. Bringing some of that negativity, that's what we're mostly traveling through in this entire book of 112,000 words, or however many words it is now. So maybe A Drowning of Prophecies was another title I came up with. And one of them very wisely said, go read some poetry. I'm like, what kind of poetry? And just have a think, because honestly, I don't need to decide the title of this until June. or actually probably May, when I need to start making the promo material. So I don't really need to decide this until May, and of filming it is February. So I have time, but I kind of want to figure it out. And then one of the gang in this little chat group said, why not a shattering? What did you say? A shattering of... Oh, now I have to look it up. Now I can't remember. It was a shattering of something. Prophecies? Dreams? One moment, please. A shattering of souls. And I really like the sound of that. So I think the current title is A Shattering of Souls, ASOS. SOS. See, it's all there. You've seen me work on Lear's book. We've just added some things in the back because that's how we roll. And so we have a new addition to Interviews with the Prophet, which was the book 2 lap book for A River Trembles. So that will go back into a book 2, and we'll have to go, well, now this makes sense when I do the reveal. Lunid is in this state. I've folded it. I haven't stitched them together because I learned from my error of stitching things together last time that if I stitch it too soon, it gets too gappy. And what I need to do is decorate the pages. So that'll be glued to the front of the book. So cover this up and do some collage decorations. This is a page from Ink and Pages, Junk Journal January. It's just, and tea stain from another one of her printables. Because I just thought that was really pretty. So we might collage on top of that. And then I have extra blank pages to do collage as well, because I'll be treating this like I treated Ida Thea's journal in book 3, A Sword for Wellington. It's a little extra, but I have all this stuff that I've bought that I need to use it. Not to mention the stuff I've printed out. Like, okay, can I bring this over? Maybe. So again, this is Junk Journal January. There's some tags I've got to put together, a library pocket. I probably won't use that, but I'm really drawn to lake images. There's like some sun, moon map thing. I don't know what that is. It looks astronomical. Really going for the lake imagery. I thought I could maybe even fold this up and make it into part of one of the signatures. So you could do on that, and then we'll see. More lake imagery. I thought I would include a pretend watercolor kit. More lake imagery, and this is like a star map. I'll put pockets on the other side, like so. This is out of a junk journal kit. It's also out of a junk journal kit, another like lake type scene. Little quote. That is paper. That is something else. And then I thought I would make this. There's a flashback to her origin story, and so that is significant for her origin story. And so those are things I've printed out for her to be added in, and I have other stuff that I've already bought because I just have. This spine is not going to be wide enough. This is from her Captain's Log printable on Etsy. So A, I have to ink it, but B, I'm going to have to widen the spine because it's not going to fit in there. Oh, no, it's a bit gappy. Can you see that? It's a bit gappy. So, a nice chunky book. And then I have flaps to add to this as well. So I have to adjust for the flap part too. And I want to put these, actually I might put this on the front. That makes more sense to go there, like that. So we've got a flap, which will have stuff on it, and another flap in the back here, which will have stuff, I think is supposed to, watch me stuff this up, it's supposed to like fold over the top, like that somehow. I don't know. I need to go look at the instructions. I think. So this is going to be her journal. It's very leathery, and I'll put one of those blue things on the front for her cover. I'm thinking that this is upside down. It is upside down. Anyway, so I will sort that out. I do need to decorate these pages. I do stenciling, a little bit of paint, a little bit of ink, and then we'll do some decorating, and that is that. I have some pages cut for, we have a diary that is again an Ink and Pages project, her dark diary. So I have, that will go like that. And these are little pages. And then I'm going to have to hide journaling in these pages. So there's that to be doing on. These two are identical because I thought I could cut one out and then hide things behind the flowers. That was my thought. I don't know if I can actually do that though. And there are some pockets, and this is the template for doing the pamphlet stitch. They're all getting pamphlet stitch because I ain't got time for proper stitching. This one, Corinne, needs a lot of hidden journaling because she's hiding secrets from herself and everybody else. So I also have, these two came out of the Junk January kit. I thought they would go very well. And this will have to be cut down, but it's a belly band. And you fold it like that, and then you fold it like this. And then you've got like 2-pocket belly band, basically. Which I thought was kind of cool. But I'm going to use it on the other side. That's why I've printed the pink on the back. And it will need to be obviously cut down to fit. I could get 2 belly bands out of that. Anywho, or a pocket maybe. So that is all going together like so. And there'll be more pages added to this as well because there'll be visible journaling and hidden journaling. And some of it we can do, like, I can do the visible journaling here and just pray it doesn't bleed through the paper. I'm going to have to test my ink, aren't I? And Adithi's diary is going to be more like a lap book. And if you don't know what a lap book is, hang on one second, let me rearrange all my stuff. So this is a lap book. There's a whole bunch of tutorials, which I'm sure I've mentioned before. Does this not? Oh, anyway, it opens up like this. And then it opens up like this. And then it opens up like this. It's missing a book over here. I have to handwrite in that an updated thing. So yes, this needs to be updated. I have a section in here on the physiology of the Dragon Moor, and I've written a whole lot more about that. So I'm thinking of adding just extra text in there. And then I have a section in the back I haven't even used. Where's my other section? Oh, here it is. And then I've listed who the different chosen court people are. And we have some new ones that I haven't listed here. So this needs to be filled out. And I don't have any more of these stickers. I think they were sticky stickers. I might have to, so I can buy those. Anyway, so that belongs in here. But it needs to be updated, so I'm leaving it out. I also have Jasper's Grail diary, which I think, yeah, I've put it back in here. I need to update it. Actually, well, let me take it out while I'm here. Let me take that one out. You in here on the other side. It's so terrible when you don't remember. Look at this, it's gorgeous. Yeah, anyway, that's what it is, diary. That is not the drone we are looking for. Let's put that back. There we go. So it's on the other side. It'll be in here. Of course, it's in the one with the Here's Jasper's diary. I have to add text to this. I'll go through and find some blank pages and see how far I get. Let's start writing here. Because I've done some sketching and I've done some handwriting. But yeah, so I'm take that up and go through that. And if I run out of pages, what kind of paper do I use? I do have one piece of this left, so I can do that. All right, so that is, who knows if any of that was in shot, because overhead is not my forte. And that is me done for today, I think. Next week I will start decorating Leonard's diary, and we'll see how that's going to come together. You probably won't see any more of that because I like to do a reveal. And you've got to see me do some stuff today. Hopefully. Hopefully I wasn't all out of camera for most of it. Thanks for watching this video. If you've made it this far, I'm going to tell you that you've probably noticed this has come out a week later. I was doing weekly schedules and now I'm doing bi-weekly schedules. And I may slow down even further because I do have somebody who I need to be a caregiver for, and that's kind of pushing all other things into the background. So my number one priority is that person. The second priority is to keep the chapters flowing on the Môrdreigiau Chronicles so we can finish A Sword for Wellington, enjoy the novella Sable's Vow, and hopefully launch the collaboration still, and so on. But there may not be a video inviting you to join the collaboration. I may have to just talk about that in a community post in YouTube, so keep an eye out for that. We'll see how things happen. Everything's a bit up in the air at the moment, and I have basically 1.5 weeks to get myself sorted and ready. So that's going to be fun. She says, ironically, sarcastically. It's an adverb, so editor me will probably cut that word out and say something that expresses it properly. So anyway, so yeah, so I'm hoping every other week, but if I go silent, I'm okay. I'm just busy taking care of somebody, and we will pop back up hopefully before the June launch of this book 4. And yes, so I have ideas that can get me through the time on a weekly basis. I just won't have the time to do it. So if you would please think good thoughts, hold me in prayers, hold my loved one in prayers, that would be awesome. 1. 2, like this video, and if you haven't subscribed, maybe now's a good time to do it, because if you've been hoping for it just to pop up, then you might not see it, because if I'm not posting regularly, I'm less likely to be shown in your feed. So you might want to subscribe. Don't bother with the notifications, just pop into your subscriptions tab on your YouTube app and then you'll be able to find me. And of course, there is also the serial. I am still hoping to release to the subscribers at some point, my current ones and my future ones as they join, an EPUB or PDF of the first 2 books, A Grail for Idothea and A River Trembles, so you can catch up. But that hasn't happened yet. And it's done. I just need to test it and make sure it looks good in different formats. And kind of need to know what happens next with the caregiving thing. So everything's a little too uncertain to do something like that. But in the meantime, you can subscribe, and you will eventually, if we get around to it, get that PDF EPUB over at projectstarfish.substack. Say that again, projectstarfish.substack.com. It's free to join, just needs your email. And there's a little comment, you leave comments on the various chapters. There's a chat function if you join the app. So yes, so there's all lots of fun stuff and community stuff happening there. in a sense as well. So in the comments below, praying hands, please. Although by the time you see this, the emergency should have passed and I'll be in full caregiver mode. But if I'm in full caregiver mode, I'm going to need those praying hands. So, all right. Well, thank you again for watching, and hopefully I see you in a couple of weeks. And if not, I'll see you when I see you. Take care, everybody. Bye.